guys side by side, just knocking each other's fenders off. It's not like an open wheel. They're able to get on there and lean on each other. And I really feel like we're going to have some great racing tonight.
I think you will, too. Qualifying has begun. The Vanderbilt Race Cars qualifying session. Cars will be heading onto the track, and actually there's a few of them coming out right now. Shane Ramtham, one of the first ones to make his way out on the racetrack. You can't see him because they qualify individually, but at the same time, now, very, very important.
It is. I mean, it's very important out here tonight. So, I mean, definitely these guys will, week in and week out, we talk about qualifying, and we've said, even with an open setup, it seems like with the street stock cars, I think qualifying is very important in how you start, because whoever starts up front, unless they just get into trouble, is usually the one to stay up front. If you're marred back in traffic, these cars are so even, and I even talk about it on the NASCAR side of things. They're so even, it's so hard to pass through the field and make any ground up.
And this is kind of an intermediate track, because a lot of these, like some of the bigger tracks, like we had a race down at Volusia a little while back, and I remember very tough, not a lot of passing. Then you get to the short tracks, it's a different situation. This is kind of one of those in-between tracks at 0.4 of a mile, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, it is. I guess, I consider most of the dirt tracks being short tracks anyways, but you're right. Not only that, but they got to put up without having the walls on those turns. I mean, this is what makes this place here is kind of really just unique in that they're going to try to. Now, I don't know in the street stock so much. We've seen it a lot with the 360 wing sprints, with the late model, so forth. I'm not sure how they're going to interact when it comes to the street stocks. We'll just have to see as the night goes on. But they try to put their, that rear wheel, right wheel tire up on that top side of the cushion to get a run off of the turn. And a lot of times there's a fine line between disaster and glory, so to speak.
And I notice I'm watching Steven Spies out there qualifying right now. Exactly what you talked about. It's not a track where you tend to run the cushion the whole way around, or you tend to run the bottom the whole way around. You ideally want to use a little bit of both, don't you?
Absolutely. That's what you'd want to try to run around here. I would feel we've seen, that is the one good thing I think we've seen with the street stocks. So we've seen guys run bottom, high, middle grooves, as opposed to, let's say, like the 360 wing sprints. Most tracks, they kind of tend to kind of go up to the middle high after a while. I mean, they may start out low. After a while, they'll tend to kind of transfer up to the high side. But I really feel with these street stocks, they're able to take different lines, even with the fixed and the open setup. They can take different lines around this track. So I don't know if you don't feel comfortable, and I'll go ahead and say this, Doug. I wouldn't feel comfortable being up on that top side because I know me, I'm a wreck, which I'm a wreck anyways. But and just to be up there on that top side is going to be disastrous.
A lot of the guys I was just watching. Let me see, who was it there? Driver, Kyle Parker, running out all the way on the backstretch, all the way out to the end, and then all the way low, apexing in the middle. Heat number 1 is coming out right now. They're brought to us by A&J Custom Creations. Andy Patton is the man that makes things happen there. If you're looking for something new, I mean, we've been getting a lot of the same trophies. Joe, you and I were actually talking with Andy about this before the race. A lot of us have been getting the same trophies for things we've been doing like we got when we were kids. Those metal trophies, they cut up the pieces, they screw them together. Now, they do something different. They do CNC machining and engraving on wood trophies. So these are plaques. You can hang them up on the wall, not stuff them in a closet somewhere where nobody's ever going to see them. So make sure to look up Andy Patton, A&J Custom Creations, and get your custom created plaques today. Zach Chapman, Stephen Golder in the front row of this one. Rob Shaw, Shane Ramtham. Ramtham, remember, is currently third in the points. Lance Ripka, Gordon Grant third. LW Wise and Mac DeMann, new driver with us here today. Didn't qualify but did run practice. So it looks, let me double check here. We've got 4 heats, Joe, so it's going to be action-packed tonight.
4 heats underway here tonight, so let's get set. Going to green flag racing here, Lernerville style.
This is a famous track, too, and for those of you who maybe don't follow dirt track racing quite as much, both the World of Outlaws run here, I mean, dirt modifieds, all kinds of stuff, as this is one of the more storied tracks located out in western Pennsylvania. Lights are off on the iRacing pace truck, Joe. Looks like we're ready to go.
Pace truck's about to drop off here. Guys up front, Stephen Goldner, Zach Chapman and company, Rob Shaw. They're getting set 2 by 2, door to door here as you're coming out of turn 4. We'll see what these guys have got in mind as the green flag flies. We're racing at Lernerville.
Green is out. Chapman is in the 720. He's down on the bottom. Rob Shaw's on the outside. Goldner in the 30, way to the outside. 3 wide for second, Joe.
Yeah, and almost taking it 4 wide. Thought about it for the middle. Remember, top 4 drivers here tonight. They transfer on to the feature. Already hot and heavy for the 4th place spot. Everybody wants to win. Stephen Goldner's got that high lane rolling. Actually, that's Zach Chapman, excuse me. He's up there way up on the top side cushion. Stephen's down low in the middle. He's going to push him off the track.
Goldner almost off the track there on the backstretch. So remember, guys, cautions don't count in the heats and consolation races, but they will later. And on the outside, we've got ourselves a new leader.
Yeah, that's Stephen Goldner taking the top side here, but he's way up on the cushion. Here comes Chapman to the inside. Going to see if he can't put a slider on him. Not going to hold. You got Rob Shaw and Shane Ratham right there behind him in a freight train. Don't count out, though. Looks like Gordon Grant. He's in the mix.
Yeah, Gordon Grant back there shown in 6th right now, although he just got the car a little sideways. Like that paint scheme on the Lance Ripka car. That's a new one for him this week, but the battle is still on out front, and Joe knows I love this shot. I think that's why he puts it up every week, right?
Well, I tell you what, we just saw Rob Shaw right there. Gives us a good representation of how close he gets on that cushion on the top side there. Almost had that tire just bounce on the top. You can see it bouncing just a little bit, and it is still anybody's ball game for the up front lead here, because they're still battling out between Stephen Goldner and Zach Chapman.
And Rob Shaw, you'll watch him here, what he does. We won't not be able to see him because he's a little bit lower this time, but that's the 519 in front there in 4th. And now look how wide he gets, Joe. He's almost up on the wall on the entrance there to turn 1.
Yeah, he's going in, kind of arcing into the middle style of the turn there just a little bit. Got down in the grass, lost all his momentum. Ow, and that put Lance Ripka up to 5th. So, wow, now you got Shane there, but look at Stephen Goldner ride the top of the cushion.
2 more laps to go, and that's all it takes, Joe. You go a little too hard, turn that wheel a little too much, you lose all that momentum.
Yeah, you do, and it really is just a fine line between, I say, disaster and victory here. But look at Stephen Goldner. Beautiful line. That's probably about as textbooks as you can get. And that's pretty much about all you can get right there. And if he makes one little mistake, though, that car could be long gone.
And that orange car you saw flash on the screen that's now 6th, that is who we were riding with. That was Gordon Grant. So you see how much momentum he lost there. Checkered flag is out. The win will go to Goldner.
Yep, and that's going to put Rob Shaw there in the 4th place spot. The final transfer, Stephen Goldner did an outstanding job holding on to it up front. Heat race 1 comes to a close. It's been a good one so far.
Now you guys see why we like these so much. And we know, again, that we've got a lot of new folks checking us out. So make sure to look us up, GForceRL.com. Find out how you can come on out and have some fun with us. Heat 2 brought to us by McConey Setup Shop. This is a place that for those of us who maybe don't know quite as much about setups and things, they could get you in the ballpark, and they want to work with you, talk to you, let you know that you can let them know what it's doing. They'll get you all set up. We're going to see a little video on them later, too, in between the consolation race and the feature. So more on McConey Setup Shop later. Heat number 2, Todd Shaw, Philip Gaum in the front row, Nicholas Vickery and G.J. Boydell in row number 2. Terry Landis, T.J. McGuire in row 3, and Jason Ferguson sits alone in row number 4. So 4 heats. Let me see, 29 cars, I believe, if my math has us right. So unfortunately, we're going to send some folks home tonight, Joe.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate when you got to send somebody home. But again, you talk about qualifying, you talk about how important that is. We're going to see that as these heat races and constellations goes on. And you just saw right there how important it was, because after a while, it seemed to pretty much you just couldn't pass. Now, we did see some multiple grooves, but that high lane started to come in, if you can handle the high lane.
That's the big thing, too. And, of course, since this is open setups, sometimes you might gear the thing to run the outside, might gear it to run the bottom. And if that's not there, that's the downside of that kind of strategy from a driver's standpoint, isn't it, Joe?
Well, the one guy that I haven't seen out here in the street stocks, that's the Beagle man, Ryan Beagle. Used to love running the low line, and he was about the only one that really was always committed to that low line week in and week out. Set his cars up for it. Just religiously out there. Didn't really like the high lane unless he had to do it, but most of the time he was a low line guy. As pace trucks in, getting set to go green flag. Philip gone, and Todd Shaw up front. Green flag. We're racing.
I wonder if Jason Ferguson might be new. He started back a little bit that time. And usually when you are new, that's what we'll do is we watch Nicholas Vickery in the pink and white car on the bottom, but out front, it's Philip Gaum.
Right now it's pretty good. What's up, Brett? How you doing out there? The Ultimate Dirt TV, man. How can you go about the 360 wing sprints real quick? We're going to get into that. That's the Elite Series. From my understanding, you have to qualify for that.
Yes, you do.
Check out GForceRL.com. You'll get all the information on all their series, and I shout that out week in and week out there. But definitely, you'll check out everything that you need to know. That's their Elite Series. Later on here tonight, actually here in about the next 30 minutes, but got a good one here with these street stocks. There's many other divisions, and there you go, Brett. Definitely check them out. Shoot a message to Preston Cranmer, Roger Craig. They'll give you all the information out there. No, Philip Gaum, the man out there right now. You got Nicholas Vickery. He's in the mix there in the fourth place spot. He's got trouble behind him with TJ McGuire.
Yeah, McGuire up on the outside. That's the black and white number 83, currently on the outside looking in. Yeah, and you'll look and you'll see actually elite qualifiers right on the schedule, and that's how you'll know. Big lead out front for Gaum, about 7/10 of a second. Boydell looking pretty good. New paint scheme for him this week, in the 014. Always likes the orange on the car, and looks like the 83 of McGuire is now gone to the bottom as he tries to pick up that last qualifying spot.
Notice that. Must have a new sponsor out there. Used to have the Coke machine running around, so he's got a nice one out there today. Definitely us helping him out. He's sitting there in second place. Todd Shaw right behind him. Nicholas Vickery hanging on that final transfer spot. TJ not been able to make ground up. We talked about that earlier on. What to see. Terry Landis hanging on to 6. Jason Ferguson way back there in the 7th place spot. But man, out front, Philip right now. So we'll have to see if any one of them guys can get up there. Maybe TJ can grab a hold of the bumper. He's hoping maybe those two guys in front, Nicholas and Todd, maybe just get into each other.
And that's about all he can hope for, because as we've noticed, sprints are a little easier to make up ground than these street stocks are. And if anything, I think he's fallen back just a little bit. And I want to give a shout out to Jason Ferguson, who's out there running in 7th place. He's kind of lost the leaders here a little bit, but he's new, he's learning. So keep going, Jason, and we'll see you up front soon, I hope.
Well, absolutely. And that's the one thing you got to do. Definitely got to get out here and learn. I mean, that's the only way you can, get better on the tracks. They come around the final time, take the checkered flag. Philip Gaum's going to win this one here, and the man's going to hang on Nicholas Vickery, and an old Rail out there is going to be jumping up, down, loving it. As old Nico, Uncle Nico, as he says, going to hang on to the final transfer spot in the 00. Good run by him.
McGuire, Landis, and Ferguson will all be headed to the consolation race, which will have a few more cars in it tonight than it normally does, because we'll be qualifying 16 here through these qualifying heats. Remember, top 4 is how you get in. Howard Hanna Real Estate brings us qualifying heat race number 3. I didn't know this, but they are the #1 family-owned and operated independent broker in the whole darn country. So whether you're looking for something at Joe's neck of the woods, something up here in the snowy Northeast, or someplace else, make sure to get a hold of Scott Hurwitz, S. Hurwitz, 2 T's, at ymail.com. He will find you the agent in your area to find you exactly what you need. Here's the lineup for qualifying heat race number 3. Stephen Shaw Jr. and Troy P. Stewart in the front row. Jeff Barker and Kyle Parker in row number 2. Jack Hitt, Blake Bolton in row number 3. And Jeff Faro is all alone in row number 4. Again, top 4 is where you want to be, Joe, here for heat race number 3.
Yeah, top 4, like you just said, is the place that you want to be week in and week out. So we'll have to see who's able to hold on to that 4th place spot.
Well, Kyle Parker's in that position right now, and earlier they've been inverting the top 4. They have not been doing that the past couple of weeks now. So Stephen Shaw, your pole sitter, was your fastest qualifier and 3rd fastest qualifier overall. And then we look back to Jeff Flaro. He was a good 1.3 seconds behind, so a little bit of a margin there between first and last. But again, love this track here in Lernerville. We appreciate you guys joining us here for tonight for OSRN.
Yeah, we got a lot of great heavy hitters in this heat race here tonight. As we're live tonight here at, on the GForce Esports on YouTube, OSR Network on YouTube, and iRacing Live. Definitely appreciate those guys over iRacing. Been a while since I've been back on that. Got us back on there too. Great racing here to GForce Racing League. Definitely check them out, GForceRL.com. As always, so that'll give you all the info, because we could sit here for hours on hours, talking about what's there. So the best thing to do is go check out the website.
Go to the website
and check out all that information, because it's all there. Steve Shaw Jr., very fast. Troy Stewart. I mean, you got some heavy hitter names. Jack Hitt, Kyle Parker. But only 4 is going to the features. Pace Trucks in.
And if you want some conversation direct, of course, they're on Facebook too, so you can always message them that way if that's easier for you. You can see the wide shot as they come out of turn 4. Crowd's not filled in just yet. It's still heat race time. Some of them out in the parking lots with their coolers, but the green flag is out here at heat number 3.
Yeah, it is. Jeffrey Barker's hanging on the fourth right now by wind. He's got behind him Blake Bolton out there. Jack Hitt says if he can't get up there and hit these guys out of the way, as Jeff Farrell, unfortunately, is walking away. He's getting knocked out of the pace just a little bit. But he's maybe a little safe if these guys get up here and get into each other, because Jeffrey Barker right now is outside looking in, trying to work over Blake.
Yeah, and I looked at the qualifying times. Jeff was well over a second behind Jack Hitt, who was 6th. So here's another guy who's still learning, trying to get in there. If it was Joe and I in there, we'd be down a lap, I think, already here on lap 2.
Well, I've always said I got enough trouble walking straight than trying to drive sideways. These guys have definitely got some talent and skill out there to get it done. But right there you see in front, that's Blake Bolton. He almost had that thing about 90 degrees sideways. Is riding along here with Jeffrey Barker, who is in the 4th place spot. Jack Hitt hanging on to the 5th place for the moment. If he's going to be able to get up there and take it away from him.
And for those of you guys who've never been in a dirt car, that shot right there with all those little pieces of clay coming at you, that is what it's really like. And it is quite the rush when you get a chance to do it for real. Stephen Shaw Jr. out front, Troy P. Stewart 2nd. Blake Bolton, like you said, is in 3rd. And all of a sudden, Stewart went really low that time off of turn 4. Checks he's changing his lineup.
He did. I see that. Stewart right down a little bit in the middle lows, like you said. Blake up high, sticking to it. Let's see if he's going to hold to that. As right now those two guys are side by side, door to door.
And they've swapped lanes now. Back up top goes Stewart. Bolton's going to try the bottom. Jeffrey Barker's the guy just behind this. He's in the last qualifying spot. You just saw him flash at the screen there for a second. They're going to get 2 to go when they come by the start-finish line this time.
That's Blake right there. He's got that mean-looking green dragon on the side right now. He's going to try to take a bite out of Stewart if he can get up there. Kyle Parker not been able to close the door on Jeffrey Barker for the 4th place spot as we're coming up on the white flag. Steve Shaw Jr. still out front, just walking away on this one.
And that red and yellow car you saw there that was way at the bottom, that's Jack Hitt. He's trying to do that pass in the grass that became popular last week as the white flag comes out.
Yeah, that was a nice move, man. We saw last week. Troy Stewart, though, is trying to see if he can't gain ground on Stephen Shaw. Stephen's running a beautiful line around here. Everybody single file on a freight train right there, just kind of getting spread out as it goes. And this kind of tells you this is setup-wise here a little bit. Shows you how good this track is. Checkered flag. Jeffrey Barker hangs on the 4th, and Steve Shaw Jr. brings it home.
Troy P. Stewart and Blake Bolton are also in the show. Parker and Hitt will be heading to the consolation race as we have one more qualifying heat to go. This one brought to us by Schultz Heating and Cooling. It is that time of the year. Make sure to get a hold of the folks at Schultz Heating and Cooling. They're out in Western New York where they need a maintenance check, emergency repair, or anything. Your hot water heater explodes and floods your basement, whatever it might happen to be. Call Mike. Great service, reasonable prices, 585-330-4992, and Mike is a former stock car racer himself, so he'll give you that stock car racer discount. Steven Spees, Brett Raby, that's fun to say, on the front row. Lane Snook, Field Miller back with us tonight in row 2. John Wilson, Andrew Smith in row 3, and Mike Schultz, who we just mentioned. That's nice. He's actually sponsoring his qualifying heat. Joe, that hardly ever happens.
No, it's not. And hopefully he can just race his way into the feature and doesn't have to do it the long way around here in the B main. Lane Snook, the young man up there. Steven Spees again, like I said, Brett Raby up there with those guys. You got John Wilson, a lot of them. A good stacked field again here for last heat race tonight before we pull it off to our B main, and it has been nothing but exciting. I think a lot of these guys have been a little bit patient. I don't know if it's obviously the setup or if it's the fact that again this track is unforgiving if you get too far up there on that top side cushion. I mean, there's no wall.
Haven't seen it yet, and hopefully we won't. But and also wanted to give a shout out to Brett Raby because it is actually, let me see, probably about I think 2:30 in the afternoon out in New Zealand right now, or somewhere around there on Thursday. So thanks for Brett for racing here with us halfway around the world. Gotta love iRacing, right, Joe?
Oh, no doubt. Green flag already out up front, and he's going to see if he can't take the lead. That's old Brett there, but along with those Steven Spees, he's going to take the top side. Here comes Lane Snook on the inside. Not seen him have. He's kind of up and down. And Brett is, actually that's John Wilson, excuse me. He's off the top of the cushion, off the track, just like we were talking earlier about. Still your top 4. Mike Schultz moved up in the 4th place spot.
Yep, so Schultz in 4th, Snook and Raby in positions 2 and 3. Like to look at that Lane Snook car too, that 23 down on the inside there. But that's the first car we've seen to get off the track, and hopefully that'll be the last. But I have a feeling it probably won't work out that way, will it, Joe? Steven Spees out front. Lane Snook taking a peek down to the inside of Raby. That's the battle for second place that you see. Snook is in the orange car. Raby's in the black and yellow car. And then, how about Mike Schultz, 7th to 4th already? He's in a qualifying spot. We're not even halfway through.
That's where he wants to be at right there. Definitely hanging on to 4th. I know he'd love to maybe get a little bit further up, get around Lane Snook. Oh, never mind.
No.
Brett Raby off. He's out there going to do some hunting in the woods. Not the time to be doing it. But now he's back. Now, if he doesn't get back up to the 4th place spot, Field Miller's the man who's going to take over the final transfer there with Andrew Smith. But just like that, we talked about it all night long, how fast it can happen. But you see most of these guys that are not comfortable being up there on that cushion, we've only seen a few of them run it. Most of them are right there below it. And again, that's just how they got their car set up. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting when the feature and all the other stuff start.
3 laps to go, and you can see the leader, Steven Spees, primarily staying up at that top side of the racetrack, which is something we didn't see that earlier when guys were out. I wonder if the track's changing already. It probably is, Joe.
Yeah, I think the track is definitely trying to change a little bit here. Steven Spees, Lane Snook right there. Everybody's kind of getting spread out. And Mike Schultz moving to 3rd. Field Miller up to 4th. I know Mike Schultz is probably happy about that. He's not going to have to really, if he keeps where he's at, not going to have to race his way into the feature, and that'll make it a lot easier on him. What we've noticed is we get the white flag later in the race. It seems like these guys are getting more spread out here. So that kind of tells me the track's really good. Their setups are really good.
The other thing I'm thinking too, and again, your leader Steven Spees is just hitting the final corner right now. He's going to get the win. Lane Snook's going to get 2nd. Schultz and Miller are the qualifiers. You have to wonder, with everybody running up high like this early on, Joe, if the bottom's going to be the place to be later. I think probably, huh?
Obviously we won't know until they do it. Because it'll be interesting to see. I don't want to say yay, and then next thing we know, no. Right. If the high lane stays like it is, though, what that's going to tell us is if you're out front, that's the catbird seat. Because being in the back's just not where you want to be at.
Track reminds me a lot of a place around here called Utica Rome Speedway, a half-mile track out in Vernon. Pretty much same thing. There's walls, but they're way far off the racetrack over in turn 2, but it's the same thing. You can ride up there on that lip, but all it takes is one little slip, and off you go. So, consolation race time here with the GeForce Racing League and the B-Main brought to us by Velocity Race Design. Want something really, really cool, throwback car, something like that? Boy, they are the guys to do it. Velocity Race Design. Look them up on Facebook. One stop dirt design work right there. Here we see 13 cars, of which 8 are going to make it in. So unfortunately, 5 are not going to make it. Lance Ripka, TJ McGuire in the front row. Kyle Parker, Andrew Smith, row 2. Gordon Grant, Terry Landis, row 3. Jack Hitt, Brett Raby in row 4. LWI's Jason Ferguson, row 5. Jeff Flaro, John Wilson in row number 6. And then Mac DeMann will ride by himself in 13th spot. Only 8 to get in, Joe, so boy, you better have some good luck coming your way now.
And we talk about that too. You talk about 8 drivers over there. It looks like there's a couple of them did not grid. Not sure. Showing
we're looking
Jason
at 10
Ferguson
guys right now.
Yeah, it's only showing Jason Ferguson, Jeff Flaro, and Matt DeMann not gridding, so we'll have to see if they actually get out there. But then that would only put 2 cars not going to make it. You got LWI's John Wilson outside looking in. But again, we've seen this many a times. Just because they're on the outside looking in, these guys up front, they don't go, well, hey, you know what? I'm in the show. But they still race like they want to get higher in positions. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Pace trucks in. Here we go.
Well, you figure the track is more like it's going to be in the feature in this race, so why wouldn't you race a little bit while being smart, right, Joe?
Yeah, you want to definitely be smart because you don't definitely want to lock yourself out of the features. Green flag flies. Lance Ripken and company up front there. TJ McGuire, Andrew Smith, and again, you got to watch out for that also treacherous, cushion up top there. And just like I just said right there, Gordon Grant around, who was way up there in the front, he's around and now back in the 10th place spot, so he's outside looking in. So I said it earlier, these guys get up there just because you're in the show, starting it off. That puts LWIs up to 9th right now, outside.
Wow, just like that, it happens. So, well, good race here for the lead. Let me see, Ripka's got it. McGuire, Smith, and Parker, they're going after it there as we look a little further back. The 79, Andrew Smith there, looks like the rims are painted like on a demo derby car or something. You know, he's using every color. It's like they had a whole bunch of spray cans and said, let's just use a little bit of everything. Oh, contact.
That's right, B. Uh-oh, he got a little bit of he fell off the side. LWIs is right there on his back bumper. LW had to check up just a little bit, but Brett, now, what if he has another mishap? Yeah. LW could just pounce and see what he's going to do. So at this point, it's being interesting to see, does Brett get up there to that top of that cushion, or does he play it safe and stay down low, knowing that he's right there in that final transfer spot? Still Lance Ripka up front. He's hoping them guys in front of him. Again. Yeah, he's lost it. LW is going to see if he can't take it away from him.
I don't know if the car's gotten loose or if he's driving too hard, but right now, Raby, you talk about holding on to the last qualifying spot, and that's why we're watching this, because all the cars in front, they're already in as we are, let me see, just past halfway in this 10-lap qualifier, and Raby looks like he's starting to get the momentum back again. But that's how easy it is, Joe. Once you lose that rhythm, it's tough to find it again.
It is, and Brett being right there in the 8th place spot now, it looks like LW is losing a little bit of ground to him. Brett's got a little breathing room to him. We're still watching this battle here. TJ McGuire, Terry Landis, Jack Hitt and company, all these guys are in the show as of this point. But you can see them right there tagging each other. The 83 of TJ got a little bump from the back. Now, I know he's first in there going, hey, look, I'm saving up for Christmas for this year. I'm not going to send anything to you. Keep doing that.
That's right. I'm taking that gift and going to give it to somebody else or use it myself. And it's been a tough race for McGuire in that white and black car. Remember, he started second, slide job to the inside, didn't quite work.
No, that was Terry Landis. He tried to put the slider on him there and see if he can't put slide job city. Not happening. He shut that down in a heartbeat. TJ did on the top side, so I don't know how well a slide job is going to work as this race goes on. Lance Ripka still dominating out front. Andrew Smith there. Folks, let me know how it sounds, looks to you.
Yeah,
good race here tonight. B Main on the way. We're going to go a little warm up after this, talk about our sponsors and stuff, but hey, then we got the feature time here tonight with these guys. This is going to kind of set our field. Top 8 drivers, yellow flags out, or white flags out, excuse me. LW crashes though.
Oh, no. Well, he was just outside looking in. No problems out front for Lance Ripka, though. Almost a 2-second lead over Andrew Smith. You'll see him. There he is, driving under the checkered. He gets the win. Smith in second, Kyle Parker third, John Wilson fourth, TJ McGuire fifth, Terry Landis sixth. I'm not used to seeing Terry in that color of a car, right? He's always in the powder blue rides. Jack Hitt and Brett Raby are the final guys to advance into the feature.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, folks, it's going to take us into a little warm-up. We'll be right back. We'll get a word from our sponsors here. As, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on. They're going to go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
At McConey Setup Shop, we offer custom-built setups for any asphalt oval car. Prices starting at just $5. Weekly setups available for all Legends, late models, modifieds, and NASCAR trucks, Xfinity, and Cup cars. Do you need one-on-one driver coaching? We've got you covered. Visit www.McConeySetupShop.com and find yourself in Victory Lane. McConey Setup Shop, handling all your setup needs so you don't have to.
Again, big thanks to the folks on Icon Sim Sports Intermission. That was that first video that we played you with the setups and everything. I mean, man, talk about a rig custom made for you. And remember to check out the NSM Photos Driver of the Week. That is on the website every single week. Again, GForceRL.com, NSM Photos. They could do some very cool stuff for you. Look them up. Need Speed Motorsports.com. Here is your Supreme Sim Racing feature lineup, and there are some SSR guys out there tonight. They're an international sim team made up of talented drivers from all over the place. If you want to join them, look for them in their hosted races under SSR for your chance to be invited to the team. Nobody does team like Supreme. Stephen Goldner, Philip Gom in the front row, Stephen Shaw Jr., Stephen Spees in row 2, Zach Chapman, GJ Boydell in row number 3, Troy P. Stewart, Lane Snook in row 4, Shane Ramthen, Todd Shaw in row number 5, Blake Bolton, Mike Schultz, row 6. Remember, Schultz came from last in his heat, too. Rob Shaw, Nicholas Vickery in row 7, Jeffrey Barkerfield Miller, row 8, Lance Ripka, Andrew Smith, row 9, Kyle Parker, John Wilson in row number 10, TJ McGuire, and the now red car Terry Landis in row 11, Jack Hitt and Brett Raby, the New Zealander, rounds out our field. Malcolm Mills will be bringing us our replays, and Joe always knows I like to keep my eyes on the hard charger. That award is brought from us by 2W's Plumbing. Make sure to look them up. They are out in the Western New York area, Naples, New York. 2WSPlumbingLLC.com. And of course, they're all going to try to get to Epsilon Sprint Reps Victory Lane. We will chat with our top 3 drivers when it's over. So what do we think here, Joe?
I think if you're out front, that's the place to be. I really feel it's going to be hard to pass, tough to get to the front if you're more in the back there, maybe like 10th on back or so. Seen it all night long. Not anybody been able to like run through the field unless somebody has trouble. So I think guys like Stephen Goldner, Philip Gom, and those guys will really push the envelope on trying to get out front, stay out front. They're going to hope it goes green flag. They're probably going to hate if there's some cautions happen. Normally it does, but I not to take anything away from the drivers out here, I just think track position is just going to be more important here tonight.
Yeah, really about the only guy we saw that really advanced was Mike Schultz that we were just talking about. And he's going to start in 12th for this one. But everybody else pretty much finished about where they started, with the exception, of course, of Brett Raby, who got into a couple of incidents. So this is going to be interesting. 3 wide right off the start for the lead. Wow.
3 wide for the lead. And I said it was. And you can already see the importance of it as they're already leaning on each other. Philip Gom, Stephen Goldner up front. And you got Stephen Spees right there, too. 3 wide second place. They definitely know the importance here, because if one driver starts to get out there and just run away from the field, it's going to be very hard to reel him back in. It's another 3 wide battle in the back, and unfortunately TJ McGuire crashing in the back. No caution. We're still green, but look at the middle of that pack. They are 3 and 4 wide.
I love that. They were 4 wide for about like 9th place right there. You know who's loving this? Of course, is leader Stephen Goldner. He's kind of on the outside, just doing his own thing as we ride here with Stephen Spees. He's currently in the number 5 spot.
Stephen Spees looking at the man in front of him, says respect the authority right now. Right there, he is definitely respecting it, but we'll see if he can respect that track, the 72 machine. I think it's Zach Chapman in front of him. Stephen Shaw Jr. is right there below him. As Spees, and look at that, right on the top of the cushion. I always say that wicked style cushion, and just like that, he's gone.
And down on the bottom, right there with him, Stephen Shaw Jr. coming through. So, and the reason they
wow,
they get that
he held on to that car there, Doug.
That was a heck of a save, because I was waiting to look to see where he was, and it's like, no wait, he's still on the racetrack. But
wow, and said held on to his position. But I'm telling you, that is probably about as far as you could go without running off the field. So hats off to him right there.
And the other thing that we noticed from that shot out of Spees' car, the cushion on the front stretch, there's no place
and
for
there
that.
There he goes. Spees is gone.
That's who it was. Front end impact hard for Stephen Spees, who was in the top 5. So, yeah, but you figure all that clay they throw there, Joe, there's no place for it to go except up on the wall, so it forms a mound right there, and which can help you because it helps you plant that left front and get into the corner a little better.
Let's go back here on the Malcolm Mills replay and see what happened. As you can see, I think it just had to do something with that top side cushion again. You see Stephen Spees right there. And we saw him. Next thing you know, he's out here just running the numbers on the top. And that tire just gets right there. Whoop, see ya. Oh. Bam, right in the wall. Nothing he can do. Once you get it up there and that thing gets hooked, there is nothing that you can do to stop it.
Yeah, and he wasn't over by much either. Maybe a half a tire width is about all it was.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all it takes sometime. Big thanks to Malcolm Mills. They are a full-service millwright and contractor based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Don't know if they're Raider fans or not, but a big thanks for Malcolm Mills because they've been with us for a long time. So thanks, guys. Welding, fabricating. If you're an industrial client, you need that kind of work, mmmillwriting.com.
Good one so far. Stephen Goldner, Philip Gone, Zach Chapman, Stephen Shaw, G.J. Boydell rounds the top 5. It's like they might go single file, and again, with this being a hard place to pass, that's definitely, I mean, Stephen Shaw's licking his chops right now because he's loving this restart.
I'm looking to see who's moving up. Brett Raby grabbed 6 positions there during those laps that we ran there, so he has been the big mover so far. Everybody else staying pretty much where they've been. Stephen Goldner has led this one since the drop of the green flag. Philip Gom has stayed with him lap time wise. He, Goldner, and Chapman, those 3 have pretty much set the pace so far. Green flag out. Goldner gets a good run off the bottom this time. They're coming by. They'll be working lap number 10 now as they head to turn 1. 3 wide for a moment. Chapman goes down low. And look at Troy P. Stewart way down there. I think he got a couple of spots that time, Joe.
Yeah, so far so good. Looking really well as you got a car almost trying to take it on the top side there for a moment. Looks like
somebody
Phil Miller.
I hear the chatter on the radio. One of the guys said, bumped right into you there, sorry. So sometimes it starts and restarts, Joe. That's usually where these types of things happen. Malcolm Mills' replay is going to tell us how it happened.
Yeah, that looked like it happened with Phil Miller here at first. Let's ride along with him. You also had T.J. McGuire, Jack Hitt involved. Let's see. So Field right there.
He's the yellow and red car up top.
Oh, just kind of came down. Looks like Mike Schultz kind of came down a little bit. He was able to hang on. And then from there, just a traffic jam. Nothing you can do. And you see up there in the front, another car around. From there, it's kind of just a chain reaction. And that's usually the short track racing right there.
Yeah, somebody went off the track and really had a good look at the area where they come out the track there in turn number 4. So we are yellow. We are not quite to halfway in this 30-lapper just yet. Big welcome to all of you. Make sure to like, share, all that good stuff. And Joe can see everything you're typing too. So if you have a question or something like that, Joe is going to be there. He will make sure that we answer that or do the best job we can in answering any questions you have.
Oh, absolutely. And right now it's been a very good one. Stephen Goldner, like I say, maintaining that top up there along with Philip Gone. Nobody's been able to do anything with Stephen right now as you see Phillips trying to see if we can't get around him. Zach Chapman there, Troy Stewart, Lane Snook, Stephen Shaw Jr., all the top 5 and 6 drivers. Well, it's still a little early, but the laps are winding down here in the Street Stock A division tonight. SSR Street Stocks, that is, and those guys love dominating. They're definitely they're a top-tier team. I got to give them credit.
And, of course, our point leader is currently sitting right now in position number 6. Zach Chapman, who's second. He is in third, so he would be the point leader now. That's the race within race as we're 4 laps in. The green flag back out of here as we are working lap number 15.
Yeah, Lane Snook hanging on to the 5th place. He's going to try to take it 3 wide. Still Stephen Goldner's going to fight off a battle up front from Philip Gone. And Philip is going to try to do anything, but you got a good 3 wide battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now.
Lane Snook did a nice job there. He just picked up 4th place, so he's gained a spot in this last lap since we went green. Caution out once again.
That would be Rob Shaw. Let's go back on the replay, see what happened.
He was in 13th. So we'll see what happens with him. He's the 519.
Got a feeling he had to check up a little bit. I know we saw a car get in the wall earlier. He had to check up right there. He sees those guys about 2 and 3 wide in front of him. And
he's the white and black one.
Yeah, right there, Mike Schultz. Just got tagged a little bit from behind. Just got a little bumper cars there and slams the wall hard.
Moved up a couple of lanes, and I think that was Raby who was the one who might have gotten into the back of him there. But a lot of times that can happen when you change 2 lanes in a corner.
Yeah, it is. So it's just everything happens so quick here on the dirt. You just never know. Goldner still the man up top. Going there, sitting in second. Chapman third. Snook holding fourth place. Shaw there in fifth. So you got a lot of heavy-hitting names. But you still got a lot of heavy-hitting names in the back. G.J. Boydell back in 17th. Ripka back there in 16th. Hit 15th. Ryby in 14th. I mean, and you just see how hard it is to get your car to go forward, and just how important we were talking about earlier qualifying was, because these guys just cannot make the ground up.
Brett Raby is still, as of now, the 2Ws Plumbing Hard Charger, 24th to 14th for him so far in this one, as we are going to be 20 laps or 19 laps complete when we come around for the green flag. Keep your eyes on Lane Snook. I'm wondering if he's found something there on the bottom at this point, Joe.
He has definitely found something. He's been able to hold on to fourth. He's been working over the back end of Chapman all race long. Pace trucks in. We're going to see if he's able to get up there, put a slide job on him, and make this thing stick. Man, up there, going to try to school some of these older guys out here. He's got Steve Shaw Jr. there along with him. Still Snook hanging on to the fourth place as Chapman's able to check out. Here comes Shaw down to the inside, putting a slider move. As again, Goldner walking away up front.
And Shaw, the only one on the bottom, he's the point leader right now. You got Goldner, Gom, Chapman, and Snook all running the high side. Stephen Shaw Jr., the highest rated guy right now, who is running the bottom. And you can see right behind him is Todd Shaw in the 82, getting a little company now from Troy P. Stewart in the 117.
Go back here a little bit further, because you see back around about the 8. Todd Shaw off the track, back there in the back again. We've seen it all night long.
Yellow.
How disastrous. No yellow. He's able to get it back going. But just shows you just how much competitiveness and how close these guys are on the track. I mean, really no one out here. Nicholas victory around.
Saw it live on your screen. That's a deal. He ended up having some contact with the car in front of him. It slowed him down. The car behind him didn't. And just like that, we're under caution once again with just 6 to go.
Got to chuckle a little bit because the front of the car looks like he's kind of looking as he's smirking at you a little bit.
Yeah, they got a face on it.
They do. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's looking like it's like, this just ain't turning out the way I want it to turn out.
Yeah. Kind of a hair lip or something on the front of that car or something, you know. Or a little Billy Idol thing from back in the day, right? Remember the star? Yeah. Maybe something like that. But yeah, it does. It looks like the car. I don't know what kind of mood that would be though, but it's not a good one, probably, right?
Well, right now there's two things. Stephen Goldner up front. He's looking at it this way. Kind of a double-edged sword. One, he would love for it to go green because he keeps getting a very good lead on the field. Two, though, even though it is a caution, those single file restarts are definitely benefiting him more than anything.
Absolutely.
And as long as they keep doing that, it's really, really going to benefit him, especially as the laps wind down. If they go double foul, it's going to open up the door for Gom and Chapman to be able to get a good start. Maybe get Goldner off of his game plan or out of the groove just a little bit, enough to upset him. But two things. If it goes green for long period, I think Goldner's sitting where he needs. He's loving to sit. If it keeps single file, he's definitely sitting where he needs to sit at.
Absolutely, as the pace truck will exit. Goldner looking, I believe this would be his first win in the street stocks here in this particular season anyway. As the green comes back out, we are working lap number 27.
Yeah, it is, and you just see Goldner just get such a good jump, and it takes a lap or so for Gom to even get up there anywhere close, and still just not able to get the momentum. Stephen Goldner's been able to run that high line beautifully. He is right there on the edge, but he has made it look about very easy all race long. Looks like Mike Schultz is around.
He was a 9th at this point. Remember, he's the guy who started last in his heat race. Started 12th, and this one was up to 9th. That's him in the 16. And let's see from our Malcolm Mills replay what happened to Mike Schultz. There he is in the powder blue 16.
That one, he's been able to run it up through the field pretty good. Like you said, might have got up there on the cushion a little too much, lost a little momentum. Let's see. I don't know if he had help here. He's kind of closed in on that car in front of him. Here he goes. Yep, just got that wheel, and then from
self-imposed.
there. Yeah, and that's, again.
No.
Oh, boy, almost could have been disaster right there. So good heads up from the other drivers. But again, we saw right there just how much the danger zone of this track. It's what makes it so unique here, Lernersville. It's a learning track. I mean, really, they made the name right when they say Lernersville. You definitely learn not to get too far up on that top of the cushion.
So now, since we're at 30, will it be green? It'll be green, white, checker at this point, correct, Joe?
Should be. Yeah, I'm going to say it should be, because
should
here and obviously in dirt racing, technically there is no green, white, checkered. Usually they just don't count the laps under caution. It's a lot different than NASCAR, where it would be obviously they'd throw the green, you'd go around, you'd catch the white. Once you catch the white on iRacing, it doesn't matter. You can blow the whole field apart, and whoever pushes their car to the finish line wins. There'd be no caution. So once you get that white flag, then that's it. And dirt, you actually could be within 2 laps. It's not going to count. So you theoretically could get a actual green-white and 1 lap to go scenario instead of almost like a 2-lap in NASCAR. So we'll just have to see. Here's green flag's about to fly.
It's showing me that this is going to be 33. We're going to be watching 32, lap 32 here. So this should be the green here.
Green flag, so they're going to come around and get a white. And you can see Stephen Golden understands that. He's going to only have maybe 2 laps to try to do anything with Goldner. But if a caution was to fly here before they get to that white flag, once they get that white flag, they're out of 4. If Goldner can get past it, here we go. Doesn't matter from this point. This is going to be an official race here. I don't think Goldner's got enough to be able to put a slide job on Goldner up front.
Yeah, you can see Gom down in the bottom. He tried one there, and now it looks like Chapman's going to try the same thing down low. This is the final corner. Take us home, Joe.
Yeah, out of turn 4, Stephen Goldner's going to win it. Chapman is going to make the slide job and take over second. Philip Gold, yeah, he's going to hang on to it. Lane Snook tried to take the 3rd place away. Didn't have enough time to do it. What a finish to this one there. Philip Gold and company up front. Good race here for the street stocks.
What a terrible last quarter, though, for Philip Gom. And he got that thing so sideways, I thought for a second that Snook was going to get him for 3rd right there at the line. Let's watch this again. Here's what happened. This is our final corner. Actually, this is coming out of turn 2, I believe, here. So as we're going to get the guys down here into Victory Lane here in just a moment, we'll bring them up. Epsilon Sprint Wraps, of course. They are the folks that are sponsoring Victory Lane, and they do some stuff. I love this, too. They say, you'll look like you drove off your local dirt track right out of the iRacing platform. Make sure to look them up. Epsilon Sprint Wraps. Again, this is the kind of stuff that Joe and I can't do, so we rely on folks like Epsilon Sprint Wraps. A big thanks, of course, to 2W's Plumbing, sponsoring the hard charger. As of now, let me see, it is going to be Andrew Smith, 18th to 7th, is the 2W's Plumbing hard charger. We're waiting for Philip Gom and Stephen Goldner. We got Stephen Goldner in the waiting room. As soon as we get Philip Gom in there, we'll be meeting our top competitors. And you can see this is the slow motion that you're seeing. I think this is at the white flag right here. So we can check that out as they come across.
Again, make sure. I just actually back it up so you can kind of see some of the action out there. But, like you said, what a heck of a finish to the race here. Not seeing Philip here in the Discord.
There he is. He is.
Oh, he's in there now. Okay, well, let's bring up our 3rd place man, Philip Gone, and let's get a word with him.
Philip, it's Doug Elkins. How we doing, sir?
Yes.
Tell me what happened there after that final caution flag.
Well, I had a teammate in my ear saying, "Go for it, bro, go for it," and I went for it, and yeah, I paid the price. I dropped the spot to the hill. The top 3 is still nothing. Well, still nothing to sneeze at.
Boy, and you were sawing the wheel coming across the line when the checkered flag waved, weren't you?
Yeah. To say that moving my wheel was yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to fill in the blanks on that one there. So how do you react on something like that? Because you were good, you had a shot at the win, but there's 2 ways to look at what you did there. You could either, with 2 to go, just ride around and finish second, or you can go for the win. I think I'd rather finish 3rd going for the win. What do you think?
I would have rather stayed in second, but I mean, that would have helped my point situation out a little bit better. But hell, the red and yellow was running wild all over Lernerville, and the SSR boys did a hell of a job with the setup.
Very nice.
Shane and Steve, and you'll talk to Chapman in a few.
Mm-hmm.
They've helped me out a lot since in the last couple of months, and I couldn't be any more grateful to them
Then
than I am right now.
did they recruit you, or how did that work?
It all started with running street stock races with Tim Taylor, and LWY has got a hold of me. He says, "Hey, there's a great group of guys over here. I think you'd benefit from them," and he was right. And that whole team is just an awesome group of people, and they've opened my eyes to a whole new world.
And remember, they are the sponsors of this race, too, Supreme Sim Racing Team. Anybody else you want to say thank you? Thank you for the podium finish, Mr. Gom.
I'd like to thank Mom and Dad, and Jesus Christ. The other thing I'd like to make note of is on the back of my car, there's a phone number there. It's the suicide hotline.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I've lost 2 of my crew members to suicide, and
oh my God!
I just want everybody to know that somebody always cares, and it doesn't cost a quarter to call that number.
We lost a friend of ours a few years ago, and we were up right when it happened, and we were sitting there going, man, I wish he would have called us. So seriously, look up that number, and if you guys know someone who's in that position, don't sit there and go, oh, they'll never do it, because you just don't know. Good job, Philip, and way to bring up a nice cause. Thank you.
No problem. Have a great one, guys.
You too. Yeah, seriously, if you know of anybody, if they talk about it, they might do it. So that's all we need to know. Zachary Chapman is up next. He came into tonight second in the point standings. Let's see. Stephen Shaw was back a little bit from him, so I believe he is our new point leader. Zachary Chapman, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good after hearing what you just said there.
Oh, yeah. You like that, huh?
Yeah, that's some good news. I'll take that.
So what was it like from your perspective there when we went green the last time?
Well, I'll tell you what, you got to give credit to Goldner first off, because, I had the pole in Heat 1, and he drove right by me on the outside. He dominated this from flag to flag, so hats off to him. But I got lucky there on I want to say first or second lap. The leaders kind of got into it, and I had a clear lane up high, so I went from 5th to 3rd and rode there until the last lap. So pretty simple race for me.
I talked to Philip about that mentality when you're running in second with 2 to go. Do you hold on and run second, or do you try for the win? What would you have done if you were him?
See, now this is where I'm honest, and I absolutely love Tom. We sit in a Discord together whenever we race here. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, last lap, go for it, knowing that if I ran the high side with 1 and 2, that I'd get a good run and then get a shot at him. So, I wanted him to try to win the race, but I knew if he couldn't win the race, that it might benefit me a teeny bit.
Looks like you might have some explaining to do, huh?
Tom knows I love him.
Anybody want to say thanks to, Zach?
I got to thank Shane, Steve, all the other SSR boys, my little brother, my old lady, and, of course, my dad.
You're a very supportive old lady, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There you go. I like that. So he should be our new points leader. Nice job, Zachary. We're going to see you in the next race.
No, I don't really run the elites too much,
okay.
But that's your winner here is gonna try to win that tonight. So I know he's going for the double.
Well, good job, man. Good talking to you.
Thanks. Take it easy, fellas.
You too, man. Zachary Chapman, our second place winner, and unofficially our new current point leader, as Stephen Shaw Jr. finished back in 20th place. Joining us now, the man who dominated this race. I've seen him win a bunch of them here. Stephen Goldner wins his heat, leads every lap. Stephen, congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was a good race to start up front, so I could keep it up front and pull off the victory there.
Didn't look like you deviated much from your line at all. You said, I'm running up here, come get me.
No, I was super comfortable running up top. I spent the whole 15 minutes or so of practice just running the top, making sure I could stay on there, and definitely paid off here for the race.
We were talking, Joe and I were before the race, wondering that with everybody running the top, if the middle or the bottom might come around. Was that a concern of yours at all?
I noticed in 1 and 2 about a lane off the top might have been good, but with the run I was having, I wasn't really looking to change anything because I'd have the momentum on the straightaways, which I think is big in these cars to get a good entry, right? So I just kind of stuck to my game plan there, stayed up top, and held on to it.
And I would think that momentum that you were talking about probably more important at Lernerville than, say, Lanier or a short track or something. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, momentum's definitely big here. It's a big fast track here. It's it's definitely something you want to keep up. You don't want to be, I mean, for me, I didn't really feel fast around the bottom at all. So I just stayed up in the fast lane there up top.
Now we're going to see you in the next race, going for the double tonight.
Yeah, we're in the elite race here. I haven't turned a lap yet because I was kind of waiting. So hopefully we can at least pull off the podium, you know. Talk to you guys later.
Well, I'll let you do a quick thank you and I'll let you go. Who do you want to say thanks to, Steven?
I got to thank all the Vanderbilt guys, Velocity Race Designs, Dirt Doctor Trucking, Powerhouse Motorsports, Bangman Bros, Bio.com, and God Moonin for the setup and selling the t-shirts tonight.
Very nice, man. I'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks a lot.
Stephen Goldner, our winner. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. Final thoughts, Joe?
Well, it's been a good one here for the street stocks. Like you just said, don't go anywhere, folks. We got the Elite Series here at Oswego Speedway Race Source coming to you here live with the 360 wing sprints. Like I said, good night tonight so far, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to Wicked Wednesdays here on the GeForce Racing Leagues. Tonight, we have the Elite Division here, the Oswego Speedway Race Source Elite 360 Sprints at the Port 10th Mile here at Lernerville Speedway. We have to skip the Gambler Motorsports pre-race show because we ran a little bit late with the race we just ran with the street stocks, and so we're going to go right here to Vanderbilt Race Cars qualifying times while taking a quick look at division standings. Brought to us by NSM Wraps. Chris Sebeski and Kyle Moonen are at the front. Only one race so far. So Sebeski has a 15-point lead over Moonen. Jack Clevenger, Ross Carretta, Stephen Goldner, who we just talked to a minute ago, 5th in the points, followed by Donovan Ross, Larry Moody, Lane Snook, Jeffrey Barker, and Terry Landis. This is Vanderbilt qualifying, fastest so far. And gee, what do you know, right? Jesse Bandy so far top in the qualifying.
So
Joe
far,
White
so
with us
good.
right now.
Yeah, Jesse Bandy right there, like you said, pulling it on the top side. Now, these guys here are your Elite Series guys on the 360 wing sprints. We just got done doing the street stocks, and, you know, they're fast around this place, but these guys, it's just a blistering pace along with them.
Yeah, and this is the elites. We had some people asking about this. Go to GForceRL.com, look at the schedule, and you'll see elite qualifiers on there. You need to get top 5 in those in order to be asked to join this. So this is something you just can't do, Joe, right? This is the best of the best of the GeForce Racing League.
Yeah, that's what you got. Like I say, if you want to see how you can get into this series, get into all your information, check out GForceRL.com to give you all the info and everything you need to get you set up there tonight. So very, very good one. 360 wing sprints, like we said. Now, I had a question this past Monday. I did a series that did the big block modifieds. And, you know, I'm new to the big blocks, okay? But I really wanted to know, and I know you the man that could probably do it, or somebody out there in the chat, between the big blocks and the 410 wing sprints, which one has more power?
In theory, at this point, I believe it's pretty close because I've heard 900 horsepower for these big block modifieds now. For a little while, it's about 850, 870, and I know those 410 sprint car engines, I've heard 900 for them, so I think that might be a push right there,
The biggest thing I would say, too, is obviously the 410s would probably be faster due to the fact of the weight distribution of the two.
Well, they're D-stroke, too, so they rev up quicker.
Yeah, you know? That too, but you know, obviously weight difference. Those big blocks, you know, they're kind of more of a full-bodied style
2,400 pounds.
Yeah, these things are probably, I'm gonna say 1,800 or so, you know, if not less. So
the horsepower to weight ratio is much better in a sprint. Yeah. And the big blocks, they're 467 cubic inches. They're not D-stroke, so they don't wind up like these sprint cars do. But if you put them on a dyno, I bet they'd be pretty close. Pretty close. But
absolutely. It was a good theory thing there,
so,
but either way, we get to grid us up here for our Heat Race 1.
A&J Custom Creations, and boy, I love their stuff. Andy Patton, make sure to look him up. I know you guys, you get the same trophies at your banquets every year in bowling and softball and stuff like that. How'd you like some CNC wood engraving stuff? This guy does really good stuff. You can send him the logos and stuff. It's amazing. Look them up at A&J Custom Creations. Here's your lineup for qualifier number 1. They did invert the top 4, so Jeremy Paulson and Jack Clevenger will be in row 1. Ross Carrenta and fast timer Jesse Bandy will be in row 2. Stephen Goldner, who's trying to double up, he just won our street stock race. He and Aiden Young will be in row 3. Jeffrey Barker and Chris Steele, who runs a 360 in the real world, he is starting in 8th. And Robert Satterfield, another one of our more experienced drivers, actually starting 9th here. So really, when you look at this first heat, Joe, we got a lot of talent right here in this race alone.
Oh, absolutely, like you just said. So, you know, 9 drivers out here going to try to get it done. Again, Lernersville, and, you know, you'll see these cars flirt with disaster up on that top side more than we did with the street stocks. Now, a lot of those guys went up there, but this will be so quick and so fast. If they get up there on that cushion, they'll fly off really quickly. As Pace trucks in, we're getting set to go green flag.
25 cars, so unfortunately one will not make the show. Everyone else will, as we go green here at the big 410 at Lernerville. Top Crew was the fast way around earlier. We'll see what the sprint cars do tonight.
Yeah, Ross Carrente right there hanging on the third. Jess Bandy's got the transfer spot up front. Slide job, and he wasn't able to make it complete. Jeremy Pauls, he tried it on the inside of Jack Clevenger, and Jack says, not today, but here comes old Jeremy back on the inside.
Paulson's there in the black car. There's a 00. It might be tough to see depending on how the contrast and everything is on the monitor you're watching. But out front still, that's Jack Clevenger up the top. This is what Jesse Bandy sees. He was the fastest qualifier, and he's in that first qualifying spot. Boy, Clevenger almost went up the track there, Joe.
Pass in the grass, 3 wide. Ross Corrente tried to make it stick, didn't get it done. He was almost taking some slide jobs. Jess Bandy hanging on to the final transfer spot. He's got Chris Steele behind him right now. Boy, these guys are turning the wick up front. He's got a good front view of what's going on for that race for the lead.
And it's tough when you're Jesse Bandy. You're here in fourth and in a qualifying spot. They're 3 wide in front of you. Not really a lot of places you can go at this point.
No, it's not.
And you can see Chris Steele and Robert Satterfield battling for 5th behind them.
Yeah,
3 wide still.
The one thing that you can see, Chris right there is hoping that some of these guys get up here and make a mistake, and they very much can right there. As it usually don't see this kind of racing amongst the top 4. They know they're safe making it into the feature. Jack Clevenger still trying everything he can to hold them off. Ross Corrente trying to put the slider to the inside, as he's not been able to make a complete down low. That middle high lane's been able to prevail.
He might have him this time, though. Good run down through 3 and 4. The guy going backwards right now is Jeremy Paulson in the black 00, as he was listed in 3rd that time, but he's in danger of falling to 4th. Corrinta again going for the lead. This is the last lap, Joe.
And he made the pass work. Final turns, final lap.
Nice.
Ross Corrente. Oh, and you just saw Clevenger just bam the wall right there coming out of turn 4. Checkered flag, but he hangs on to 2nd. Corrente holds the win. What a first heat race here tonight.
That was good. And again, totally different than what we just saw with the street stocks, as Ross Corrente uses the bottom. Nobody used the bottom in the heat we just saw. McConey Setup Shop brings us qualifying heat race number 3. These are for guys like Joe and I who setting up a car is like throwing darts at a board. If you're one of those guys, you need help, well, they can give you the setups that'll get you to victory lane. They want a personal relationship with everybody, so make sure to look them up on Facebook, message them there. McConey Setup Shop, and in between the B main and the feature, we'll actually have a little video that'll tell you a little bit more about them. Daniel Blau and Lane Snook. Snook almost had a podium finish in the race bike before this. They'll start in the front row. Blake Chapman and Keith Jackson will start in row 2. Jackson was the 2nd fastest qualifier, so keep your eyes on that 13. Brian Moore Sr. and Jeff Flaro are in row 3. Then GJ Boydell and Lance Ripka in the last row. And Daniel Blau's got the Funk Master on the wing there. Is that what he calls that, Joe?
I believe it is. I think that's what he does call that thing.
That's an interesting thing to have on a race car. You know, it reminds me of those old, remember those old designs where they'd have the guy driving the stick shift car with the stick shift above his head? Remember all those cartoons, magazine kind of things like that?
What did he call that? A funky monkey or something like that?
That's
I don't know. I think it was somewhere around those terms. But either way, we'll see if he can hang on to it. He might have that monkey up there a little scared if he gets out front. Yeah. Lane Snook, though, right there on the outside. Now, Lane Snook did an outstanding job in the street stocks earlier on. He definitely knows how to get these cars around. Remember the midget series was doing kind of the closest thing that he runs in real life. But these cars here, I would say, would also be maybe kind of close to what he is, just maybe a little bit more power than what he's used to. But we've seen him do some awesome things in these 360 wing sprints. Pace trucks in, get set to go, green flag.
Blake Chapman, nice to see the Skittles car back. Keith Jackson always makes me want to grab a bag of Skittles when I see that thing out there. 8 laps, top 4 get in, and we are green, Joe.
Green fly, Snook able to get a jump out front. Here comes Blau to back to the inside. Here comes that Skittle machine. He's saying if you can taste the rainbow. Jackson back in 4th place. Your top 4 guys up there, and you already see, you normally don't see guys getting up there beating on each other, but they'll try to lean on each other a little bit as Blake Chapman and Snook 3 wide.
I don't know, is there room for Lane Snook through the middle? Yes, there is. We've got a new leader. That was a heck of a move right there, Joe.
Yeah, he threaded the needle coming through there. Well, I tell you what, Blau says, man, that was an impressive shot not to wreck each other. Here comes Snook and Chapman right there along with him.
And Snook kind of hopped the right rear of Chapman, so that's put him back to position number 4 right now as the Funky Monkey and Daniel Blau lead.
Out front still, Daniel's got it. Battle on. Keith Jackson's coming up in the mix with Blake Chapman there, putting slide moves on him. And you got Lane Snook hanging on the Ford. Jeff Flaro. I hope it's Flaro. Is it Flaro or Farrow?
I got a 50-50 shot on that one
at
this
too.
point. So
they're wheel tire to tire right now for 3rd and 4th. Lane Snook's there with Blake Chapman. And I know, or either way, Jeff's probably thinking, hey, guys in front of you there, can y'all maybe just wreck each other and I'll just be able to sneak on in and get to the feature?
And if Blake Chapman's body gets into you, you don't know which color it was his, right? It could be anybody else.
That's right.
It could be
No
yellow
doubt.
paint on it, some red, some green. Who knows as we come by 2 to go this time as Blau continues to lead, but Keith Jackson is right there in the 13, going to take a peek inside.
Yeah, peek inside is going to see if we can't put a slide move on him. He's down low. He's got that synchronized slide job, and he's protecting the inside, trying to pinch him down there to the grass, and it does work. Here comes Snook again at the high side. Boy, that guy has got a setup in that machine. He slides a little bit, Snook's around. Uh-oh, and he could lose the 4th place spot to Jeff. Out of the last turn, he does.
Down to the line, it's going to be Blau with the win. Keith Jackson in second, Blake Chapman in third, and Flaro does get the final qualifying spot. So that little wiggle in the contact sends Snook to the Consi. Tough break, man.
I'm going to tell you what, and Snook tried there on the last turn to get that momentum, just ran out of room.
Well, once you get it sideways like that, it's tough to get those tires grabbing. You got to get it pointed straight, and unable to do that, and he will head to the dreaded B main. Howard Hanna Real Estate sponsors qualifying heat number 3. I didn't know this. You guys probably didn't either, but Howard Hanna Real Estate is the #1 family-owned and operated independent broker in the country. Get a hold of Scott Hurwitz, Herwitz, Hurwitz at ymail.com. He'll find somebody in your area to find you the place that you'll call home. Here's our lineup for qualifying heat race number 3. Jeff Fitzpatrick, Jason Randolph in the front row, Kenny Miller and Donovan Ross in row number 2, Jonathan Short, Kyle Moonen in row 3, the VP, Preston Kramer on the inside, and Benjamin Kolsch outside of him in row number 4. This is the final qualifier, and again, top 4 get in the show.
Like you just said, top 4 gets in the show. Fitzpatrick, Randolph, Miller, and all those guys there. Ross hanging on the top 4. We'll see who is able to pull it off here when this thing is said and done up front. These guys a little bit more, on top of each other, so you can see some guys from the back. Remember we were talking about the street stocks, how qualifying was very important. I'd say it's not important here either. It looks like Randolph is going to have to take an EOL here, so he's going to have to run the long way to try to get into the feature.
And didn't I see that he was running the Tulsa Shootout last weekend? I believe that to be true. If some of you guys know for sure, please send us a message and let us know. I'm like 90% sure that it was Kenny Miller who was actually running. That's 600s out there at the same place that they run, of course, the Chili Bowl. So Fitzpatrick and Randolph in the front row. Miller's in that number 23. Donovan Ross let me see. Yeah, he's actually back a little bit too. So it's supposed to be Ross outside of row number 2, but Jonathan Short is in that position right now.
Pace trucks in, green flag's about to fly. Donovan Ross gets a jump on the outside with Fitzpatrick's there. Those guys take it side by side, turn 1 and 2. Here we go. It's 2x2. Synchronized moves going into it, sliders. And out front, Jess Fitzpatrick is the man leading it right now out of 4.
And Kenny Miller, the only guy going low out of the top 4. You see him, he's going to slide up around the outside now of Donovan Ross and trying to get there's Kyle Moonen. Ooh, both of them, they just tried to occupy the same space. And it looks like Moonen now has position number 3 as we watch the leaders.
Yeah, Short was right there, was able to knock back into 4th place. The leaders up front there, Ross and Fitzpatrick doing something. They almost made contact there on the inside. You see John Short right there on the low side of it. Oh, car's off the class. That's Fitzpatrick. He's gone.
And he is going to lose at least a half a lap to the leader, so he will be headed to the Consi. That means Donovan Ross, and there you see him just getting on the speedway right now. Meanwhile, Donovan Ross, you see him, he's over in turn 3 right now. Good break here, though, for Kyle Moonen, as he's now in the show along with Kenny Miller.
Donovan Ross checking out here. Battles on for second, third, and 4. Short, Miller, Moonen right there along with it. That's Preston Kramer definitely way back there in the back. You see him in the picture hanging on the 5th. He's hoping these guys maybe miss up or slip up a little bit up here in the front. Everybody's single file running a freight train, as you do see Preston Kramer in trouble. Off, and he's out of it tonight. Unfortunately, you see another car, Jess Fitzpatrick, again off the track. Just like that, their night is going disastrous.
And Fitzpatrick did a gentlemanly thing there. He was going to get lapped by the leaders, so he pulled off the track. So he gets a bonus point in my book. They're coming around to the white flag, and we've got quite the battle out front, Joe.
Out front, Ross still got it on lockdown. Short wants it, but he's got Miller right there with him. We'll see if any one of those guys will be able to take it away from him. Down the back stretch, turn 3 and 4, final time. And, man, you can see up top, there's Miller. Looks like Ross is going to get it.
Nice try, though, by Miller to try that. Short still gets second. Miller gets third. Kyle Moonen ends up in the final qualifying spot. Kolsch, Randolph, Cranmer, and Fitzpatrick, they will head to the consolation race, which, unlike your local short track, will be going directly to that. There's no need to wait for them to get fuel in the car or anything like that. Let me see. We've got 12 cars in so far, so 13. So unfortunately, one is going to miss. B-Main brought to us tonight by Velocity Race Design. Want a cool looking car and don't know how to do this stuff? Well, they do, and they are the one-stop shop that's got you covered. Race over to Velocity Race Design on Facebook. Order your custom paint job today. This will be 10 laps. Top 12 get in. Chris Steele, Lane Snook, they'll be in the front row. Benjamin Kolsch, we just saw him in qualifying heat number 3 with Robert Satterfield in row 2. G.J. Boyd Dell and Jason Randolph in row 3. Aiden Young, Brian Moore Sr., row 4. Preston Cramer and Jeffrey Barker in row number 5. Lance Ripka, Jeff Fitzpatrick, they are in row 6. And starting by himself in the back with a lot of work to do is going to be Stephen Goldner. So if he wants the sweep tonight, boy, it couldn't be a taller order than it is right now for Stephen Goldner, huh, Joe?
It is. Outside looking in, definitely back there in the back. To try to get it, I got to go back to what I was saying before about the fact of with the street stocks as opposed to these 360 wing sprints. He could come through the field very easily, and it could be done. He's going to have a little help. You definitely don't want to be marred way back in traffic like that because you could get caught up in a mess that you don't, that's out of your control or what, so forth and so on. But he could come through the field, but it's going to be a tough one. Let's see what happens.
And of course, while everybody else had finished that last street stock race and was running practice laps, he was in the booth chatting with us, so he did not get as many laps either. So doubling up going to be hard. This race will be 30 laps, and cautions will not count, unlike what we saw earlier. No, that's right. We're still in the consolation race. Excuse me. Caution laps will not count. So last chance to get into the show right now.
It is, and that's the thing you got to think about. Lane Snook up front. You got Chris Steele along with him. Like you said, caution flags won't count here, being that it's in the consolation B main, so forth, as opposed to when we go into the feature. Mm-hmm. Well, going to be interesting. One spot, 12. With 12 drivers, 11's going in. We got one spot, one's going home. Who's it going to be?
We're going to find out. Green flag is out in this 10-lap last chance qualifier. Position might not be important as here, Joe, as maybe learning something about the racetrack. Thoughts on that?
Well, it's called Lernerville for a reason. You definitely learn not to go too far up on the top of the cushion. Stephen Goldner still hangs on the 13th. Look at this 3-wide mess up front as you've got Lane Snook, Steele there along with it, Kushner up there too. That'd be Benjamin, and it looks like those guys are throwing some haymakers left and right on each other.
And Lane Snook, remember, he was in a qualified spot in his heat, got a bad break, got the car wiggling, and lost that spot on the last lap. So he's exactly where he wants to be right now as they're trying to go 3 wide for second here between Kolsch, Satterfield, and Steele.
I tell you what, you got battle front, middle, and the back. And watching this back here with Jeff Fitzpatrick, Lance Ripka, Stephen Goldner's already moved up to 10th, so he's on the move. I said you're able to, if you get the right setup and the right way to go, you'll be able to go through this field very good. He's up from 10th, from 13th. He's in the show. All raised up to 8th right now. Look at Goldner go. Well, he is taking that high lane. We've seen him do it in the street stocks. He's not scared to go up there into the danger zone and flirt with that wicked cushion up there, and he is making it work.
Got around Jeffrey Barker. Preston Cramer is in the 07. Wow, it's like everybody else is tied to a pole. Goldner's the man to watch right now.
He is putting them up, knocking them down. Right now is out front. Lane Snook still holding on to it, but look at him ride that top, putting that tire right there where he needs to. He's got G.J. Boydell, and he's saying, Boydell, move, I'm coming through. And he's working over Aiden Young, who's down low. He's going to take that spot. Goldner's up to 7th already.
And the nice thing for Goldner is I don't really see anybody else with the exception. I think it's Kolsch maybe. One of the other guys is running up there. So it's going to be a while before anybody else is going to be in his line as we got 2 to go.
Well, 2 to go. The only thing that's going to stop Goldner's time right now, but this just shows what he can do in the feature. He is already up to 5th from back in the 13th. You want to talk about hard charging. He just says, hard charging, we need a different word. He's like a rocket ship out there. I mean, coming through the 5th place. Lane Snook out front going to win this one here if he hangs on to it with a white flag. You got Chris Steele holding on to him, but look at Goldner. He's going to work over the 4th place man.
And this is the first time he's had to go low because Randolph, that's the 4 car on the outside. He's the other guy who's been using that outside line, and a tough break there as he ran out of laps. Lane Snook gets the win. Chris Steele in 2nd. Jason Randolph gets 3rd on the last lap from Robert Satterfield, and Stephen Goldner ends up 5th, picked up 8 spots in 10 laps. That is not a bad race.
And if it goes green like that, folks, when we're here in our feature, that really helped out a guy like Lane Snook who was able to just get away from the field, but you saw what can be done from the back to the front. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Let's get a word from our sponsors.
At McConey Setup Shop, we offer custom-built setups for any asphalt oval car. Prices starting at just $5. Weekly setups available for all Legends, late models, modifieds, and NASCAR trucks and Xfinity and Cup cars. You need one-on-one driver coaching? We've got you covered. Visit www.McConeySetupShop.com and find yourself in victory lane. McConey Setup Shop, handling all your setup needs so you don't have to.
Welcome back to the GeForce Racing Leagues. It is Wicked Wednesdays, and this is the Weekend Speedway Race Trust Elites, the best 360 drivers that the GeForce Racing League has to offer. Wanted to talk about Icon Sim Sports Intermission. You saw that piece we did there that showed you some of those rigs. Joe and I want to try them all out, so we're hoping they can send them to our house. Make sure to look them up. Icon.
I like the one. I like the one. I can't get into one with the roll cage, but I do like that one there. It kind of looks like pretty cool, So.
Yeah, the one with the 3 screens, the spots for the 3 screens. That's the one.
Oh, even the one without the 3 screens.
So.
Because I got screens in front of me, so.
Yeah.
Even the one would fit in pretty good. So I like that one.
Yeah, but slide right under my little table here. I'd be all set. Icon simsports.com. Order yourself your rig today. Make sure to look for the NSM Photos. That's with a Z, driver of the week. NSM Photos does all kinds of cool looking things, hero cards, things like that. Make sure to look them up. You can look them up on Facebook, and also Need Speed Motorsports, and our driver of the week is updated weekly. So make sure to look for that as well. It's been quite the night here, Joe. We saw the street stocks before this. Everybody was up high here. We got 3 grooves. They're all over the place. I have a feeling this is going to be a good one tonight, Joe.
I think it will. We've seen a lot of great excitement here with these 360 Wing Sprint, the Elite Series here with Oswego Speedway Race Source. These guys have put on an outstanding show. I don't want to say that it's going to benefit the guy out front, because just like we saw there, and sitting in 7th, Stephen Goldner was able to come from 13th all the way up to around 5th place. We'll have to see what he can do here on the feature time tonight, but it's going to be interesting. Maybe somebody else can run the numbers and come to the front.
Very, very, very true. The SSR feature lineup now, of course, Supreme Sim Racing. We just met a bunch of the guys that run with that. Look them up and race with them, and who knows, maybe you'll be invited to race with them. When you're looking in the lobby, look under SSR for the group name for your chance to maybe get recognized by the folks at SSR and be welcomed to their team. Ross Carenta, we saw him work the bottom for a victory in his heat. He'll be there with Daniel Blau and the monkey on the wing. Row number 2, Donovan Ross, Jack Clevenger, Keith Jackson, Jonathan Short in row number 3, Jeremy Paulson and Blake Chapman in row 4, Kenny Miller, Jesse Bandy in row 5, Jeff Flaro, Kyle Moonen in row number 6, Lane Snook, Chris Steele, row 7, Jason Randolph, Robert Satterfield in row 8. Keep your eyes on Stephen Goldner. He is on the inside of row number 9 with Benjamin Kolsch, Aiden Young, GJ Boydell there in row 10, Preston Kramer, Jeffrey Barker, row number 11. In the last row will be Jeff Fitzpatrick and Lance Ripka. This is the Elites. Not just anybody can race this. Make sure to go to GForceRL.com to find out about all the good stuff they do road racing on Sunday nights. They have a lot of fixed league setups for like dirt 358s. They run just about everything, Joe, and that's the best way to find out more about them.
It is, because there's just so much information there. We'd spend a ton of time just talking about it. So they did look through there at GeForce. Want to appreciate everybody tuning in. We're live here on the GeForce Esports on YouTube, OSR Network over on YouTube, and iRacing Live tonight. Hit those likes, hit the shares, hit the subs and everything else there. I know the league definitely appreciate it. Let me know how everything sounds and looks to you out there.
Please.
I always love, man, giving the best we possibly can. It has been an exciting night between the street stocks and here with the Elite 360 Wings, as we're getting set here for our feature tonight.
I'm getting thirsty for a Busch Light looking at Ross Carrenta's wing there. Of course, when you come to my house, that's what I got in my fridge. So,
Dr. Pepper, man.
Yeah, well, Dr. Pepper vanilla is pretty good too, though. So,
yes.
So we're ready to go. 30 laps. Cautions will count here. Will not count, caution laps will not count here, unlike the heat race and, of course, the consolation race. Pace truck off, and Joe, we are ready to go.
Ready to go. Pace truck's in. Ross Carente, Daniel Blau company there. Donovan Ross right there up front. Green flag flies. These guys are about to get wild in 360 Wing Sprints. Already pushing and shoving up front. They're 3 and 4 wide. They're putting on some sliders so far.
Carenta, first one into 3 with Blau right there on the outside. I see Keith Jackson in the white and black car, 4 wide. They come out of the corner. Wow.
Yeah, 4 wide right there along with it. Keith Jackson crashing in the back, no caution. Got a feeling he just went end over end off the track. That's usually what happens there.
He was 8.
Out front, Daniel Blau still 3 wide behind him.
Got the funky monkey, one of those two. If he wins, we'll find out for sure which one it is. And look on the outside there as Jack Clevenger is going to challenge Blau for the lead in turn 3.
Yeah, he is. Looking back there, Stephen Goldner's marking the back. Look at a 4 wide battle coming out of the turn. You got Clevenger taking over the top side there for the moment. Here it comes down low. That's Ross Carente cutting and mowing the grass, trying to do an inside move. He'll see if he could cut through the infield. He'd say, hey, look, that's my shortcut right now. Look at it again, 3 wide out of the turn. Jack's taking it there, but here comes a monkey man on the inside. That's Daniel. Looks like Daniel Blau right there. And again, a little pushing and shoving up front.
And Jonathan Short has kind of really been fast here these last couple laps. He was all over Clevenger's bumper. As we look out Ross Corinta's car here, he's fourth, and there you can see that battle for second. Shorts up top in the 51. That's Kenny Miller down low in the 677, and Clevenger, of course, is the race leader. And you might not be able to see it, but Daniel Blau is still down on the inside of Ross Corinta.
Yeah, Daniel Blau, they're back there in 7th place with Blake Chapman and company. Kyle Moonen right there along with him. This just gives you a good shot of what old Ross Corinta is seeing in his front view as he sees Short take the low line slide job, and is he going to be able to do the crossover move? That's actually Kenny Miller. Kenny says, I don't want to get killed tonight, but boy, he is definitely killing it on the track.
Well, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he gained like about 2 or 3 car lengths that time coming out of turn 4 as they come out of turn 4 again. Big wreck at the back. That was a big one.
Yes.
Under caution, 8 laps complete. We'll check our Malcolm Mills replay. Remember, they're up in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Full-service mill writing contractor. Of course, welding, fabricating, mmmillwriting.com.
Just saw it right there. That was Preston Cranmer. He was involved. Lance Ripka was involved with it. It looks like Preston just got a little sideways, and from there, those guys just couldn't get woed up in time, and just a domino effect after that.
That's pretty much the way it went. So we are back here. Like we said, 8 laps complete in this 30-lapper. Jonathan Short was scored as leader last time. As really, I think any one of these top 4 or 5 cars right now could win this thing tonight, Joe.
What's up, Toe? How you doing out there? Appreciate you tuning in. We got some awesome dirt track racing here with the Elite Series tonight here with the Oswegan Speedway Race Corps. Out front, it is all John Short along with Kenny Miller, Jack Clevenger, but from what we saw earlier, it's still anybody's ball game. I think from here, any one of these top 10 can get this thing done.
Of course, we'll be keeping our eyes open for the 2Ws Plumbing Hard Charger as well. As of now, that would be Kyle Moonen, 12th to 6th. Right behind him, Lane Snook's gone 13th to 7th, and Stephen Goldner has gone 17th to 11th. So those are the drivers who have advanced the most positions. And actually, my math is bad. Kenny Miller, 9th to 2nd. So he's our big mover so far. 7 spots for him. So keep your eyes on that 677, the car right there on the outside.
Kenny don't talk much, but he's definitely got short it on the track right now. Short right there. Nothing short on power. He looking good.
Whoa.
Taking a slider up top, up to the cushion. Here goes a 3-wide battle. Comes on Jack Clevenger. Says, hello, fellas. He's going to go down there into the dirt a little bit and see if he can't take it. No, loses momentum. Drops to 4th.
Wow, did you see the lane changing going on there, especially out front with Jonathan Short? Here goes Kenny Miller back to the outside. That's the 23. Clevenger's on the bottom. Ross Corinta, normally a bottom feeder's up high. This is really a good race.
It is. Just an old saying I like saying, these guys are swapping position faster than you can swap socks up front. Kenny Miller, John Short, Jack Clevenger, Ross Corinta and company, Kyle Moonen. Everybody's trying that high lane, but I don't know how well it's going to stick. He's the only man. Jack Clevenger's trying the low line there. He's just flirting with disaster with the wall.
He really is at that point. So you see top 3 kind of nose to tail at the top. Smart right now, I think, at this point of the race. If they can run like that for a little bit, get ahead of everybody else, they can make this a 3-car battle a little bit later on as the racetrack has really changed as a lot of the top runners are way up on the cushion, Joe.
Absolutely. It is a 3-car choo-choo for the moment right now, but never mind. They're going to make it a side-by-side box fight. As you see Short try it right there. Ross Corinta duking it out on the back turn. That's going to help Kenny Miller walk away just a little bit. As you also see Ross John right there. They're going to go door to door. Well, they ain't got no doors. They're going bar to bar on this one.
Wheel to wheel, bar to bar, rub rail to rub rail, whatever you want to call it. But that race for second is a good one, which is exactly what Kenny Miller wants. This is the biggest lead he's had all.
He almost slide jobbed that thing straight off the track right there. You saw it, and then gets punted out of the way because he lost all kinds of momentum. That was Ross Corinta. Went from 3rd straight back to 11th. Man, I tell you, hold on to it right now. Don't look in your rearview mirror. Who's coming through the front? Stephen Goldner. He's up to 5th. He's coming in. He's like, look, please let this thing go green for the next on in here. I'll be up front. The one thing about it is a lot of guys have taken to that top lane, so we'll have to see what he's able to do. Is Jesse Bandy right there in front. Jesse Bandy right there in front of it. Green. Oh, yellow flag's out. Jeffrey Barker around.
Well, and actually, for Goldner at this point, maybe that was a good time for a caution because now he can restart right on their tail, see what they do. So we'll find out how that worked.
We'll watch here on the Malcolm Mills replay. Oh, he just got
there it
clipped
is.
a little bit. Him and Jeffrey Barker back there hooked some tires. Then you know they're roundabout.
And it looked like Barker thought he might be able to sneak by the inside to get through there, but that didn't work either. We are 17 laps into this 30-lap Elite Series race here. Big thanks to the folks at Oshwegan Speedway Race Source for their sponsorship of this division. This is our final race here of the night. Remember, we do double duty every Wednesday night with the street stocks and, of course, the Elite Division. GForceRL.com is how you can find out more. Kenny Miller out front had a 7/10 lead when this thing went yellow.
And he was loving it right there. So now he's going to have to contest with the guys behind him again there, but Stephen Goldner moving up through the field slowly but surely, been awful quiet. He's right there with Jesse Bandy, who is taking a high lane. Kyle Moonen right there in third. John Short, Kenny Miller. So I think Stephen would love for those guys to get up there and battle it out again side by side and let him get that high lane rolling like he was. We'll have to see. Don't count out Lane, Snook, Jack Clevenger and all. Those guys were fast in their heats and consolations early on.
And it goes without saying that as of now, 17th to 5th would make Stephen Goldner our 2W's plumbing hard charger, but we have 13 more laps to see, and this race is far from over. Kenny Miller didn't want to see that yellow. I know that, Joe.
No, he did not. He doesn't really want to see this double file restart, but either way, he's going to be able to control the field. Pace trucks in. We'll see when he drops the hammer. We're racing back at Lernersville. He's out front. Miller is. Got a good start. Look at Goldner. He's going to try to get that good start. Not what these guys want to see. 3 wide, almost 4 wide for third and fourth.
And Goldner watches that spot. He's going to try to get to the inside of Jesse Bandy in the 157, inside the top 5. But Miller, notice he went right from bottom to top. Jonathan Short right there with him. Bandy on his tail as well as they try to pull away from the field.
Yeah, it is, and the biggest thing is Kyle Moonen hanging on to the 4th place barely right there, as you can see, but it is a huge pack of cars in a dogfight behind them. Jack Clevenger, Stephen Goldner, Robert Scatterfield, and Ross Corrente, all these guys hanging on to it, and they're just side by side doing some slide jobs.
And Snook was able to get by Goldner, so he's now showing in 5th. Put Goldner back in 6th. They've got 10 laps to go. Kenny Miller still best of the bunch so far, with Jonathan Short right behind him.
Well, I tell you what, we just went on board with Jack right there, and the one thing he did is he jacked that car up on the side of the wall for a second. Oh, Jesse Bandy around crashing, and the back yellow flag out. Let's see what happened. Old Jesse, man, he was up front too, running it.
Boy, he just missed that too. What a nice move there to avoid that flipping race car coming out of turn 4. This, of course, our Malcolm Mills replay.
And Jesse Bandy was in the 3rd place spot. Got a feeling he probably just caught the wall, or, as always, was it the turn, the cushion?
Yeah.
Was it something, or maybe he had a little help? Let's see. He stumbled right there, and then the car just got, destroyed.
And then in case you thought it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, that thing saved, and the next thing you know, he's sitting there going, I got it. Done.
Boom. and I find this interesting. You and I have done enough races here at Lernerville. It's usually the backstretch where everybody's going over the cushion, but it seems even in the end of that street stock race, seems like turn 4 is more the big issue tonight.
You saw right there, he was fine. It looked like that car maybe had a little hiccup, and it just slightly skipped a little bit coming out of the turn, and then he obviously got hooked on the top of that cushion there. You could see it. He went through the turn beautifully, and he had it going good, but there towards the end, I don't know if he hit a rut or something in the track, which can easily do, because you just saw it kind of skip and lose its momentum, and from there just root right over. Almost had it corrected coming on. Unfortunately, being a short track, guys just can't get slowed down in time, and next thing you know, you're wheeling and dealing upside down.
And you're at the back of the pack now too. So wow, tough break for Bandy, who will restart this one in 22nd place. We've got 8 laps to go in this one, 9 actually, as we're working lap number 22. Pace truck is off. Kenny Miller is out front at number 23. Jonathan Short, the 51, right with him. Kyle Moonen in 3rd as the green flag comes as we get to the final 3rd of this race.
Yeah, Kenny Miller was able to get a jump out front on these guys. John Short still there along with him. Kyle Moonen is in the mix. Stephen Goldner. We got a lot of guys around in the back. Oh, this is a huge one there, too. That's Jason Randolph. Go back on the replay here to see what happened to him. You got Jason Randolph was involved with that one. Several other guys, look, they just looked like they just got all piled up on the turn. Jason was starting up front too there. Looks like about a 5th, 6th place spot. We're watching Malcolm Mills replay here. Oh, yeah, he just had to check up a little bit, and the car behind him just wasn't able to get woed up. And then from there again, just a chain reaction. And I don't know who that was who got thrown over, but wow.
Tough race there, tough break there, as we were running some good laps there too. So not much left here, and we'll see who's going to end up getting the win here tonight in the Elite Division here at Lernerville.
Biggest thing is too, just kind of benefiting Kenny Miller right now. He's able to maintain out front, and he gets to control the field as being the leader. So that's what he's liking right now. I know he'd probably like to be able to be out front, get away from the field, and go green flag from the rest of the way on. But for the moment, these restarts are definitely, especially the single file restarts, are definitely helping him. A guy like Stephen Goldner, it's probably hindering his forward progress a little bit, because everybody's going up top to this point on. I think they've called on to that a little bit. You can see Stevens kind of have a stalemate around about 5th place. Still not over with. We'll have to see. Definitely don't count out John Short and company behind him.
Well, it's very common to see a driver, who starts at the back and maybe runs a line that's different than everybody else. They can do that for a while, but probably not as long in iRacing as they could in the non-virtual, because here you got spotters that are telling the drivers, hey, Goldner's running the outside. You might want to get up there and take a look, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So as we get set to go back green, you're right, Toe, man. You got a lot of work going to be cut out for you to get these cars off the track. Moonin right there, hanging on to the 3rd place spot. He's got Stephen Goldner coming down low on him with Lane Snook. Snook's not going to give it up too easily. He fires back to the inside. Out front, Kenny Miller right there with John Short and company.
And Jonathan Short still in second. You can see Miller making sure that he gets as far to the outside on his entrance to 1 as he can possibly get, as really I don't think you can run higher on the racetrack than he is, and he's almost a half a second up right now.
Yeah, Kenny Miller still out front. Everybody's up top, and like I say, that's going to just hold up the momentum there. You got to go a little further back here as the laps are winding down. Miller, man, out front, holding on to it. Short's looking good so far. Lane Snook, Moonin, all those guys single file. I like to say in a freight train up top. So if they keep it like this, they'd love this thing just to go green. I know Miller would from this point.
There was a famous announcer down in the southern tier of New York State who used to have a little train whistle in the tower, and they got like that. He'd go, get that freight train out of there as the yellow was out with just 3 laps to go.
Keith Jackson around. Let's go back on the replay. Malcolm Mills replay. Let's see what happened. He was back here too wide, just mixing it up a little bit. Had Blake Chapman back there. Don't know. And, yeah, he just caught the burn up top. And
could have been worse.
Decided not to come back on the track there. That's probably what triggered the caution there. Good job on his end, just not to try to force the issue. Could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do, you make one mistake and then you go, oh, I better jump back on it and go, and then you make a second mistake, and now you just made it worse than it was. So a good recovery there. I have to wonder if anybody has anything for Kenny Miller. I mean, he was able to drive out to a 6/10 margin there in just a few green flag laps. Jonathan Short's running pretty much the same line he is. He just can't seem to catch him at this point.
What has happened here is we've seen guys down low and up top earlier on. I don't know how the track is changing with the setups. Everybody's going up high. You're right. If it was a double file restart, I would say as long as these single files out here, it's definitely going to benefit Kenny Miller.
Yes.
John Short has an opportunity, but he's going to have to time this thing just right in order to get up there. He's going to only have a couple more times here. We're going to see with 3 to go. Since we're close to a green-white checkered pace trucks in. You've got the man up there, Miller, Short, green flag flies. You see Miller just already gets a good jump up front. And he gets into the wall. Not what he wants to see, as Mooner's going to take advantage of it. And here comes Goldner, but this is what Miller wants to see. Goldner's around.
Several cars involved on this one. Everybody going for the same spot on the racetrack. Like you said, exactly what Kenny Miller wanted to see, but not what the guys behind him did at all.
And I tell you what happened right there.
Wow.
We're definitely going to have us green white. We saw it live as it took place. Goldner was involved. Lane Snook was the one really involved in that one there. But just a lot of guys taking real estate, going 3 wide, putting some sliders on each other. But Miller has been the man up front. Short's going to have to find a way to get him off that start like he's been doing all night long. He's going to have to find something to make him make a mistake.
That's about it, too, but Miller has not made mistakes so far in this race. And, but boy, he just lost a lot of competitors back behind him. So you figure, well, Kyle Moonen was able to get by Short for brief time on that last one, but for either one of them to do something with Miller, I'd be surprised. Let's put it that way.
Going to be interesting. Miller has been the man out front. Lights will get back here off on the pace truck. Essentially going to have about what you'd say a green-white checkered here tonight on the dirt side of things, as these guys are looking to end it here for the 360 Wing Sprints Elite Series, the Oswego Speedway Race Corps. Definitely here has been a very good one here for the GeForce Racing League. Definitely check them out on GForceRL.com. Folks, it's all Kenny Miller right now. Can he hold off those hard chargers behind him?
And, of course, Goldner, even though he was in the wreck, was able to drive through it and keep his spot. So he is now in position number 4, and how about Jason Randolph sneaking into the mix in that number 4? That's the red and white car you see right behind the 30 of Goldner, as we are going green. 2 more laps to go.
Kenny Miller drops the hammers long gone. John Short there with Kyle Mooner is the ones is back to back to see what they can do. Green flag. If they cast a white flag, won't matter what happened out of the turn. Going to be about 2 to go here as they come out of turn 4. Miller, white flag, won't matter. This race will be official. One more time around here. Miller's got a good lead. Short's there along with him. Kyle Mooner's hanging on the 3rd. Nobody's contesting the top 3 as they head off in 3 and 4.
Down low, taking a look is Short. It's not going to matter as Kenny Miller is going to get the win. And trouble there for Moonen right at the end. Short ends up in 2nd. Moonen ended up looking at the infield wall in 3rd. Stephen Goldner is our 2Ws Plumbing hard charger, 17th to 4th. And pole sitter Ross Carrenta got some spots there late to finish 5th.
Good run by all these guys here tonight. Got to give my hats off here to them. Kenny Miller was able to hang on to it along with John Short there and Kyle Moonen. So we'll see what we get a word with them. But what a race here for the 360 Wing Sprints.
The best in the business, the Elite Division. If you want to be a part of the Elite Division, go to GForceRL.com. There are qualifying races. You can't just go and join this, so make sure to do that. And if you're maybe like me, you're still learning, look for some of those fixed races that they have during the afternoons. If you're a road course racer, they got a real good one on Sunday nights as well. We'll be heading to Epsilon Sprint Wraps Victory Lane here in just a moment. Want some personal tailor-made graphics for your car? They look realistic and look like you drove right off the dirt track right onto the iRacing screen. Make sure to look them up at Epsilon Sprint Wraps. We have 2 of our top 3 in the waiting room. We're waiting on Kyle Moonen. As soon as we get him here, we will go to our Epsilon Sprint Wraps Victory Lane. But a big thanks to all of you for watching. And man, Wicked Wednesdays really lived up to the nickname tonight, didn't it, Joe?
Absolutely, it did. I mean, these guys, they put on a wicked show as usual out here. So, well, let's see who we got up here as we can get a word with them. Boy, it was just some awesome, fantastic racing. You see the crash, the last caution.
Woo. And you can see Goldner got straightened out there, and that's why he was able to continue on. So I think we have our top 3 down in the waiting room, so we'll bring them up here to Epsilon Sprint Wraps Victory Lane. First driver we'll talk to is our 3rd place finisher, and a nice run for Kyle Moonen, 12th to 3rd. Kyle, congratulations. Before we get too much into the race there, what happened coming out of 4 that last time? All of a sudden, you're looking at the infield wall.
Yeah, no, I was trying. I was hoping John was going to run the top there, and I could, try getting a run on the bottom, and then he ran the bottom, and then I came up and got into Goldner, and then we all ended up places, and we were laughing and stuff, and I forgot about pictures.
Okay. Well, at least everybody's laughing. That's always good, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, of course, you and Steve, I think you passed more cars than just about anybody else. How were you passing cars? What was the line you were using?
I don't know, a little bit of lucky and trying to run where everyone else wasn't. I told them I was pretty happy I didn't end up in the field. So,
well, of course, you started 12th. So, did the race become Top Groove late, or was it Top Groove early too, Kyle?
And no, it was more, I don't know, maybe top of 1 and 2 at the beginning and kind of the middle of 3 and 4. I think that was more where I made up most of my ground, was probably middle of 3 and 4.
Okay.
There at the beginning.
How'd you miss that last caution, the big crash there in turn 3?
Luck. Pure luck.
Pure luck, huh?
I
Okay.
guess.
Well, I think experience matters. It has to, right, Kyle? Because you don't have time to think. You got to react. So all the guys tell me you do it enough, you react correctly. Are they right?
Yes, they are right. They are right.
Who do you want to say thanks to, Kyle?
It's everyone at Vandybilt. You know, Jesse, Brandon, Fitz, they work a lot on the setups. Goldner's pretty much taught me everything I know about dirt sprint cars. So
Wow.
That's a plus. Everyone else, you know, over there, appreciate everyone. Ross at Velocity, they keep the paint looking good, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good job, Kyle. Good talking to you, man.
Thanks, you too.
12th to 3rd for Kyle Moonen here tonight. So strong run for him. But boy, he almost fell off there at the end. Our second place runner, Jonathan Short, is with us right now. Jonathan, how was the race from your perspective, sir?
Yeah, it was one of my better runs ever I've had with this group. So I'm really happy. It was. I wish we could have kept going green there at the end. About 10 to go. I think on the long run we had something for Kenny, but he was just pulling me too far off the starts to be able to do anything with him in a short amount of time. So, but I'll take second with this group. It was a heck of a run. Had a lot of fun out there.
So that was the deal, huh? So you could catch him after you got a few laps. So it must have been frustrating seeing yellow right there at the end.
Yeah, I didn't do my job early on and let him get the slider on me, and caution came out, and
okay,
he went over the edge right as caution went out, and like got lucky on 3 and 4, and so after that, I thought we had something if we were going to go double file there, but it got under 10 laps to go. They go single file, and he just got the tacking on the bottom first. But when we were on the top in 1 and 2, I was gaining on him. 3 and 4, we were pretty even. So I was hoping we could kind of reel him back in there at the end.
So when he went by you, did he show you where he was making those moves, or what did you learn from him after him going by you and then you getting back behind him?
Yeah, I just wasn't setting a good pace by myself out front. Not being out front very often. I'm not good at pacing myself when I'm behind somebody. I know when I'm able to when I'm overdriving and when I'm not. So I was happy to kind of pace behind him there, and I figured if we could keep going green, and might have a shot to throw a last lap slider or trade some spots with him at the end there. But Kenny's one of the best in the business, so it was probably unlikely. Probably the best result here is finish second, but it was a good run. I won't complain about anything about what happened tonight. So,
well, a lot of drivers tell me too that when you're gaining experience, sometimes getting out front and seeing that clean racetrack and no longer knowing, okay, there's a guy down low going well, there's a guy in the middle going well. Sometimes that's the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah, you second guess a lot. I mean, I had guys on my team spotting for me, so I knew the top was where to be, but I wasn't getting a good run off. I got a bad run off of 1 and 2 the one time, and he got to 3 and 4 and slid me, and I just didn't get back by him. So he got the top in 1 and 2 and drove past me. So it was just choosing my lines there wasn't very good at one point in the race, and then just cautions fell the right time for him.
Well, good job. Nice solid run. Who do you want to say thank you to?
I definitely got to thank all the guys across Racing, Coast to Coast Racing Sim team. We got a good group over there. GForce Racing League, and then Epsilon Sprint Wraps. We got a new wrap this season. Thing looks awesome. So if you guys need to get a new wrap, they're just definitely hit them up. Preston Kramer over there. AJ Custom Creations. He makes some really good trophies and plaques for this league. And obviously, I got to thank my wife. She's allows me to race multiple times a week on this deal and do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So thank her for her patience and her lovingness to allow me to do this. So
good job, man. Way to say thank you to the wife. Good job, man. We'll talk to you next time. Okay, John?
Thank you. Have a good one.
I noticed, Joe, that Jeff Fitzpatrick has joined us in the waiting room. I wondered if maybe we could bring him up first. He is actually our 2W's Plumbing hard charger, 23rd to 8th for Jeff Fitzpatrick. Jeff, first of all, thanks for coming to the waiting room, and I'm glad I was able to see you, man. Heck of a run. Nice job.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
How'd we do it?
Patience, a lot of patience, and we've been working hard on this setup on this track. We knew it was going to get pretty slick, and I was just trying to be patient and just take my time.
Of course, when you're starting 23rd, patience is good, but you have to be. I remember guys have used the term patiently aggressive, because you can't just sit there and be totally patient and pick up 15 spots, can you?
No, you got to go. You got to go, but you still have to be patient and just look ahead of you. And, I could see some wrecks up ahead of me and load up on it, and move the car where they weren't, and it's a lot of luck in there too.
So you missed at least a couple of those deals coming up through, huh?
Yeah.
Who do you want to say thanks to, Jeff, for being our 2W's Plumbing hard charger tonight?
I got to thank all the guys, the Bandit Build Shop, and it's just a hell of a group. We have a lot of fun, and we just got to keep the two brothers apart, Goldner and Moon, and they get with each other, and
Right.
they keep betting on each other, so they're playing a little rough with each other. But Wegman brothers, Ross with Velocity, he gives us all nice wraps, gets the cars looking good. And, I'd like to thank GForce putting this league on. It's a lot of fun, a lot of talented drivers in here. And,
sure is.
And you guys for putting on a hell of a show. And as soon as I get out of here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get a couple cold beers and watch the replay.
There you go. I hope you enjoy it, man. Good job. And again, thanks for catching that you were the hard charger and waiting for us, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Jeff Fitzpatrick. Good run. 23rd to 8th tonight. Our winner is coming up next. And in between, I did go over the computer to make sure that I was talking to the right guy. Kenny Miller joins us here. First of all, Kenny, congratulations. 9th to 1st. Boy, it can't get much better than this tonight, can it?
No, I think this is my first GForce Elite win, so
really?
That's pretty cool. That feels pretty good. I think we had a couple seconds and thirds, but it feels good to get it done.
Now, I was talking to Kyle Moon. He said you went by him. So what were you doing early to pick up those spots to get in this position in the first place?
I was just kind of rolling the top in 1 and 2 and the top in 3 and 4. Everybody seemed to be skating around the middle. And I moved up pretty early and found some good speed there and kind of rolled by everybody. And then everybody kind of moved up after I went up.
And that is the nice thing about being the first guy in that lane. Any concerns late? Because it seemed like you were able to pull a little bit on Jonathan each one of those late restarts.
Yeah, no, Jonathan was definitely really good. I thought he was a little bit better than me in 1 and 2. So I was trying to search around as best I could, but not fall off the edge there. I put 3 and 4. I felt really good. So I thought I could at least fend off anything he had to throw at me in 3 and 4. So, but luckily we got it done.
Nice job. Now, I looked you up in between because I thought I had heard something about you during the week. You were out in Tulsa just recently, weren't you?
Yeah, we were out Tulsa Shootout this week.
How'd you do? Did you win a heat or something like that?
Yeah, we picked up a couple heat wins, a couple qualifier wins, and then finished 4th and 7th in the Outlaw and the Stock divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good week.
Are you going to be out there next week?
No, sadly, we won't be out there next week, no.
Somewhere down the road. I mean, anybody who does the Tulsa Shootout wants to do the Chili Bowl, don't they, Kenny?
Yeah, no, everybody wants to do the Chili Bowl if they're a diehard racer, so that'll be a goal someday.
Now, I know a lot of people rent rides for that. Have you and your sponsors and people around you given thought to that?
We have, but I feel like every time we do give it some thought, it's a little bit too late. So might have to jump on the boat early and get one for next year.
And I've talked to a lot of people who've rented rides, and unless you really know the people, a lot of times you really don't know what you're getting, right?
Yeah, you got to do a lot of background searches, find out what the equipment is, if it's good stuff or not, and kind of build a relationship with the people before you actually just hop in it.
Now, obviously, you're driving midgets when you come to this and race on that. Does the track race pretty much close to what it does on iRacing?
No, not really. I feel like the bottom's pretty dominant in real life. I feel like iRacing midgets, that you kind of just slide yourself a lot of times, but I mean, the racing's still good in real life, so I think they still do a good job.
Well, let me phase it this way then, Kenny. Let's say I'm Joe White, who is a champion midget racer at whatever speedway in XYZ, Arizona, and I've never been out there. Would it help?
Yeah, I think it'd help a little bit. Just kind of get familiar with the track, see how the berm's set up and stuff. I don't think it'd be a complete. I think you can definitely learn some stuff from it.
So it would be worth doing then.
Yeah, no, I'd spend the whatever it is, $15 by the track and go turn some laps.
Good job. Who do you want to say thanks to, Kenny?
Everyone at Phantom Motorsports, Velocity Race Designs, Power Outdoors, and Weichel Sportswear.
Nice job, man. And when are you getting back on the track for real here again? Soon?
I hope sometime in April, but we'll have to see how it plays out.
Where do we race in April?
Somewhere in Pennsylvania with the USAC East Coast Series. I forget what the first race is, though.
So these are USAC midgets then?
USAC sprint cars.
Oh, USAC sprints. Oh, no kidding.
360 non-wing.
All non-wing. So no all-star stuff or anything like that then? Can you don't put the wing on the car here and there?
None of the wing stuff, no.
Well, good talking to you, man. And again, good job at the shootout.
Thank you.
Well, Joe, it was quite the night here, and I used you there because I figured if you were going to go out and try the chili bowl sometime, right, you could spend that $15 and learn it, right?
Right, yeah. I'll eat some chili. That'll be about the closest thing I'm going to get on it. But yeah, I don't know if they would want me on the track too much, but we'd have to see. But what a night, like you said, tonight here on the 360 wing sprints, the street stocks earlier on. It's just all around great action, and congratulations to all the winners.
Yeah, but I knew his name from somewhere. I knew I had seen something last week about GForce Racing League's Kenny Miller out at the Tulsa Shootout. So, again, thanks to everybody, all the sponsors and everything. We'll be back next week. Joe, take us home, sir. Well,
I tell you what, for myself, Doug, and all the people here at GForce Racing and the sponsors here, it's been a good night of action on our Wicked Wednesday. Definitely an awesome one. Everyone, have a good night.